Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
Yeah, Mark Frankhouse.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Not too shabby. How you doing?
I'm okay. It was a long weekend. I spent some time out hanging with some friends. I get to try a new place in town that we're going to talk about later on this morning, I think. Had some good food, you know. It was just a good, long, busy weekend. I did puppy sitting, which was great. But obviously, thunderstorms and puppies don't go so well together. So.
Tell me about it.
You've had like 2 of the last 3 nights with Scarlett probably too, right?
Yeah, I've been up since 12:30. So.
Oh, man. Well, we'll get you. Well, I'll let you sleep under the desk later this morning. How's that?
Yeah, probably.
You can nap between breaks.
Probably need that.
Oh, but no, it has been a long weekend for a lot of people. And, you know, we would be remiss if we just completely disregarded this thing that happened, the news out of Pennsylvania this weekend. Excuse me. It's completely unavoidable. So former President Donald Trump was shot at. It's now being investigated officially as an assassination attempt. Shooter has been identified. And if you want to go so far as to look up his information, you can, we won't give him any more publicity or name recognition on this show because people who commit acts like this don't deserve to live in infamy and rent-free in our heads. So we're not going to do that. Happy to report that former President Trump is safe. However, 1 person was unfortunately killed and 2 more injured in the crowd. Don't have any information on the 2 that were injured so far, but we do know the person killed, 50-year-old Corey, and I'm so sorry about if I pronounce the last name wrong, Comparatori, I believe is his last name. He allegedly took that bullet while shielding his wife and children during the shooting, so very obviously our hearts and thoughts go out to him and his family and friends. An investigation ongoing, but if you want to see what we know now, we have all the updated information on our website, WRKR.com, which is, it's all information from our own company's trusted news sources. It's not just a couple of morning rock jocks posting stuff out there. But President Biden commenting last night, he did reach out to Trump, talked to him, made sure he was okay. He announced yesterday an independent investigation into the situation to see where things may have gone wrong and how it could have been avoided in the future. He's also putting his full strength and the Secret Services force behind Trump. Now, I watched Biden's speech last night, and he said something that was interesting to me. It really rang home. We really need to try to lower the temperature in our politics right now. This is not a political show. We don't do that on this show. And I don't want to speak for Mark here, so feel free to offer your own views here. Chime in when you want to, Mark. But personally, I agree with what President Biden said last night, because no matter which side of the aisle you sit on, things have gotten way too hot. And truth be told, I even get a little carried away myself in my private life. Mark knows. He's seen my social media most days. And we have our own conversations about it too, behind the scenes, but we keep it, private. We keep it between us, and we're mature enough to be able to have those conversations. Maybe this time, though, in those conversations, we all just stopped, took a breath, very long one, like 4 months long, and just kind of gathered ourselves a little bit. I heard this thing, and I think it was from a TV show or something. It's in order to look at yourself in water, it is impossible to do so if it's boiling. You must let it cool and let all the bubbles settle before you can really reflect on yourself properly. And we have very clearly reached a boiling point in this country. We do not care at the Rocker what your political alignment is. All we know is we have a mutual love for rock and roll and the occasional story about how awful Ohio is. But then there are days like this where, we're unfortunately forced to deliver news like this. And I don't want to say we're mad, but we're very disappointed, And maybe this is the moment that finally kind of tamps down the violent rhetoric. It wakes people up to the reality that things they say online can't actually happen in real life, and that these are real people with real lives that are now really being affected by the decisions of a single person who clearly was pushed too far. So maybe keep this in mind now when engaging with somebody online or even in person who has a different view than you. You don't know how far they've been pushed already. We want this to be a fun, peaceful, happy, united place to live. And I hope moving forward we have learned a strong lesson from this and things start to get better and we can heal. And I'm sorry to get on my soapbox here, but moments like this, don't happen every day. And we need to be clear as voices in our community that this kind of language, stoking violence and pushing some to act on it, unfortunately, is unacceptable. It's why we block people from our social media accounts, because we're not going to tolerate it. Also, we blocked the one guy who defended Journey after the Lions lost to the 49ers, but that's ancient history.
Unacceptable.
Now. Yeah. But we are better than this. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of living through one life-altering event after another. So let's stop it. Okay? Let's just be cool. We love you all. I'm going to do my best to tone down. I'm making a personal effort myself to tone down the social media with more cat memes. And Mark, I'm sorry to kind of hog things here this morning. I apologize. But let's just take a breath before we say and do anything that we might regret, So, all right, we do still have a fun show for you today. Mark, what's going on the rest of the day?
We got tickets to the Allegan County Fair. See Theory of a Dead Man, Third Eye Blind after 7. And I think we found some new favorite places in Kalamazoo. One in particular to get some really good chips and queso.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this. And again, massive announcement coming up 8 a.m. Do not miss this. It's the Rocker.
1077 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
I think I have found my new favorite place in town for chips and queso.
Ooh.
I was there Saturday. I'm sorry, I was there yesterday, actually. And I don't know about you. I tend to kind of determine how much I like a Mexican restaurant on their chips and queso. It's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
I went to Barrio in downtown for the first time.
Gotcha.
By the way, tacos are awesome. You can kind of pick. You can build your own, or they've got a couple specialties. You can pick from there. But I got their chips and queso, and let me just tell you, they were exactly what I look for in chips and queso.
Okay.
The chips were smaller, but not mini. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They weren't overly salted. So if you wanted to add, I know a lot of people that love the super salty chips. If you want to add more salt, you can do that because there are places that overdo it. I would much rather you undersalt them and I can add more later. The queso was awesome. It was standard white, queso. They had other toppings and stuff you could put in there. I got the elote, which had roasted corn and peppers and that kind of stuff in it and stuff. Oh man, it was so good. The chips were the perfect size for dipping because I have it's weird. I have a small mouth, like around my lips, but the inside of my mouth is huge, because I can hold a lot of food in there. But to get
the chipmunk,
yeah, kind of, yeah. But to get the chip in my mouth, like a standard tortilla chip, I usually have to break those,
right?
Especially with the beard because you get stuff in the beard. These were the perfect size to get in my mouth. They were the perfect size to scoop the stuff in the bottom of the little bowl there for the queso and the elote and stuff. It was so good. Oh, it was perfect.
Man.
Yeah, man.
So many good restaurants in the area.
I agree. Do you have a favorite for your chips and queso?
I'm with you on that one. I like the white queso.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have a little pico de gallo in it.
Okay. All right.
Toss that in there. Chips gotta break really easy. Strangely enough, I'm a fan of the thinner chips.
Okay.
Not a huge fan of super thick tortilla chips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but you still want them to be solid enough that they don't just, crumble in your hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another factor of these too, is they didn't break super easy.
Yeah. If they're brittle, then you're just, they
just fall apart and then you mix it up with your spoon and then you just have chip and queso mash. You're just eating.
Then you just look like you're eating cereal at that point.
Just see some dude hunched over his table at a Mexican restaurant eating the queso, just lumpy, tiny chip queso cereal. The spoon. Oh, man.
Someone who does that, you can definitely tell, ooh, that guy's not dating much.
Shut up, Mark. What are you talking about?
Meatball just outed himself. He was the one.
Oh, man. No, I genuinely loved. I'm glad I went to Barrio. It's like I said, the first time I went, and I probably should go more often. Their chips and queso were good. The drinks were really good too. They specialize in like tequila and whiskey drinks too.
Yeah.
At a Kentucky Highball, which was like, it was bourbon and ginger beer and all these. Oh man, it was so good. It might have had an influence on how good the queso was too. But I mean, that's a factor, you know.
That's awesome. Well, I'm curious what other people's favorite, because I know there are definitely still some places that I haven't been to. I know that you haven't been to.
Mm-hmm.
So hit us up at 978-1077. Let us know, in terms of chips and salsa, chips and queso, where is your go-to?
Yeah.
So that I can go to there for lunch.
Is that what we're doing for lunch today? Is just chips and queso?
It's time to turn up your dials and tune out the traffic, because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frank House.
It is the Daily 5, where Mark and I ask each other questions. The other one answers. Today, I'm asking the questions. Mark is answering. Mark, you got some help on the line from Jim. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great, man. You got to help me get 3 out of 5 questions correct. If you do, I'll get the point to start the week. If not, Meatball will. Let's do this.
All right.
It's going to be a fun one.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. This has to do with music.
Okay.
In 1982, Ronnie James Dio left Black Sabbath and was replaced with who as the next lead singer? Was it Dave Walker, Ian Gillan, or Ron Keel?
Dio left
82.
in 82.
Uh-huh.
And what were the options again?
Dave Walker, Ian Gillan, or Ron Keel?
Ron Keel. Okay. Ian Gillan joined in 1983. So it's one of the other two.
What do you think, Jim?
Wow.
What do you think about Walker? Just because I thought of Walker, Texas Ranger. That guy doesn't mess around.
Dave Walker?
Yeah.
You good with that, Jim?
Yeah, let's go then.
Let's go Walker, Texas Ranger. Final answer.
Dave Walker, Texas Ranger. Final answer. No, actually, it was Ian Gillan.
Was it?
Yeah, Ian Gillan joined right after Ronnie James Dio. Dave Walker was right before Dio, and then Ron Keel joined right after Ian did. So they were very short-lived. But yeah, Ian Gillan was right after Ronnie James Dio. You're looking this up, aren't you?
Yes.
I did my research.
It says 1983 Meatball.
Well, then who was next? Who was after Dio?
That wasn't the question.
Yeah, it was.
Nope, that was not the question.
Dio was replaced with who?
Yes, but you said in 1982, correct?
I said Dio left in 1982.
You say that. I don't think that's what you said. I don't think that's how you
Hold
worded
on, Jim. I apologize. Give us a moment here.
it. Okay. Next question.
Okay, Jim. Back to the game. Question number 2. This have to do with fears. Papaphobia is the fear of what? Is it the fear of dads, the fear of becoming a father, or a fear of the Pope?
Papaphobia.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Jim?
Boy, I got no on.
Man, I'm thinking Pope. I think we'd be safe with the Pope.
You feeling that, Jim?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's go Pope. Final answer.
We're going Pope. Final answer. That is correct.
All right.
All right, you're on the board
Bouncing
now.
back after the short hiccup of misunderstandings.
There you go. All right, question number 3. This is entertainment. As we have discovered before, other countries have their own versions of Sesame Street with their own versions of the characters. In Great Britain, their version of Cookie Monster is known as who? Is it Biscuit Monster, Tea Monster, or Crumpet Monster?
Have you ever seen British Sesame Street before?
No.
Crumpet Monster. Crumpet Monster.
I just imagine Tea Monster, and it's like this, you know, how the Muppets are felt. They're fabric and you're just pouring tea down the gullet of this.
I'm pretty sure it's biscuit because biscuit is the British form of cookies, Jim, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it's Biscuit Monster. If you're cool with it, we'll go biscuits.
All right.
All right, biscuits. Final answer, Meatball.
Biscuit Monster, final answer. That is correct.
Oh, man. Almost had me with the crumpets are really good.
They are very good.
Oh, my
They're more like a
gosh.
scone.
I know, right?
All right, this also has to do with cartoons, but it's Disney. The character Faline is the love interest of which classic Disney character? Is it Pluto, Pinocchio, or Bambi?
Faline.
Faline, F-A-L-I-N-E.
Pluto, Pinocchio, or Bambi?
Correct.
Man, Faline.
Jim, did you watch a lot of those like classic Disney cartoons?
I did. I watched, Bambi and stuff growing up.
Bambi, Faline sounds like a feminine name. And
Well, I would
Bambi,
hope so, because these are all guys.
wow. Okay.
It's definitely a girl. Like, I'll give you that. Faline is a girl.
Okay. Faline. What were the other two options?
Pluto, Pinocchio, and Bambi.
Faline. Man, I can't.
I'm thinking Bambi on this one.
Bambi. You know what? This is the first time you've came in there with some confidence. I like it, Jim. We'll go Bambi. Final answer.
Going Bambi, final answer. Look at the
Whoa!
comeback for today.
Jim, woo, I was sweating, man. I was putting way too much focus on the year of Meatball's first question. I almost screwed myself up big time. But you came in clutch and helped me get the big W for the day. It's only 1 out of 3 that we need, but still a big win. And you are going to be seeing Theory of a Dead Man and Third Eye Blind at the Allegan County Fair, my friend.
All right, sweet.
Hey, thanks for leading me to victory today, man.
All right.
Saved my butt. 1077 RKR. It's the Rock and Morty Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
So there's a lot of things that have been going on in regards to Warner Vineyards this year. Obviously, we've been there for the concert series, but there's also a lot of talk happening about whether or not Warner is trying to be shut down by residents. There's a lot of misconception here, and I wanted to bring to light a situation that's going on. So for those who don't know, we do the summer concert series with Warner Vineyards.
Yep.
And Pat Warner, the owner, super nice guy. Like flat out, Pat Warner is probably responsible for bringing in the most outside revenue into the village of Paw Paw than any other business. And I say that respectfully to all the other great businesses that are out there. And it's done so through the booking of these bands for the summer concert series. When Buck Cherry came out there, they drew in 1,300 people.
That's awesome. Majority of which are not Paw Paw residents.
Right. And, we have analytics that show us where people were going from that show, where they came from.
Yeah.
From that show, multiple people have said, like, the bars downtown were packed because people were coming in there having dinner and then they were going to Warner. So obviously the concert series is growing. But with that, there's a lot of complaints and a lot of issues that a small group of people are having in Paw Paw. Basically what it comes down to is there are some people who do not like the amount of concerts that they're being held there, and they don't like the volume of which those concerts are being held at. So if you
Those are the claims.
Yeah, those are the claims. So if you go to the 1077 RKR app, you can read this dissertation of information that I've assembled for you, because this is one of the very few times where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to investigate this. I'm going to put on the journalist hat, because I don't ever wear that, because remember, I'm not a journalist. So don't come at me, bro. But this is the one time I really wanted to get the facts out there for everybody, because this is important. There are some residents in Paw Paw who apparently are unhappy with the amount of shows that are being booked there and the noise of which it's at. So if you go to the Rocker app, you can read about this.
I think it is important to know that, yes, we do have a partnership with Warner Vineyards. We do have a mutual partnership with them. We help advertise their business and their events. And in turn, we get to be a part of this too. And we get to help promote this stuff and be a part of this cool stuff as well.
But that's kind of the idea. Is it's mainly because of you guys listening, is that with the help of Warner Vineyards and with us last year, that concert series grew. I mean, the reason it grew is because it was in such high demand last year. he booked even more shows this year, and the turnout has been even bigger.
Yeah.
So there's even more money going into the Village. I talked to Pat Warner, who's the owner, and he told me that he had actually gone, he had a device to test the decibels, and during a concert went across the street, tested the decibels. They said it was no louder than heavy traffic on that road.
Yeah.
And he's gone through the neighboring area, the neighborhood around the concert, like while the concert was going on, tested the decibels, said it was fine. Yeah. There are some people who are claiming the music was so loud it was rattling their walls. I don't know what to tell you, because Pat Warner documented this stuff, and he's done actually a lot. He's gone through the city. It's important to know that before this year, he was working with the Village, and he gave solutions for the parking issues. He put in place contingency plans, additional entry and exits. He put fencing up to ensure that the growth of this series would be sustainable to their land and the area. And he provided solutions for all of it.
Yeah.
And this has been documented by him. And I think one of the big things to remember is that it's not like a him versus everybody kind of mentality.
Pat is one of those people, if you know him, who wants to, he works in hospitality. He wants everybody to be happy. Mm-hmm. And we love Pat for that, and he's willing to work out a situation where everyone can be happy. This is not us just saying Warner Vineyard's good, other people bad. That's not it at all. In fact, Pat wants to hear the voices of the people who do have the issues and try and work something out with them. So there is a meeting actually this Thursday that people can go to and kind of understand the whole situation and voice their opinions. Right, Mark?
Yeah, it's at the Pawpaw Township Hall. It's at 7 p.m. this Thursday. I'm going to be out there for sure. Because I've kind of prepared something to say as well. Because again, I understand the concerns of like sound and everything and living nearby. Although it's important to remember that as of today, there have been no laws broken. Yeah. There are no sound issues or ordinances that have been broken by Warner Vineyards. They adhere to the sound ordinance cutoff time, which is 11 p.m. That's never been broken. He's had no issues. And basically the next step for him is to go to the Planning Commission today and on August 1st to confirm that everything is good to go. Yeah. But again, if there are concerns out there, everybody's voice is welcome to go to the Township Hall on Thursday at 7 p.m. And that's where you can either support or voice your concerns. Either way, all the facts are up there on the 107.7 RKR app. We hope to see you at this summer concert series because, coming up in about 15 minutes here, we're going to have a big announcement regarding those.
Oh, man, it's going to be
vroom, vroom.
107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
All right, it is time. We're a little behind where we thought we were going to be, but we have a huge announcement, and it involves normally what we have been calling the Rocker Classic Ride. We're getting a bit of an upgrade this time, Mark.
Yes, we've done the Rocker Classic Ride. We've done Rocker Classic Bike, the Rocker Rides, all sorts of stuff. But this year, we have a new partner, and this is going to be big. We are excited to announce that we are partnering with Tapper Automotive in Pawpaw. We are giving you guys a 2-year lease on a brand new 2024 Ford F-150 or 2024 Chevy Silverado.
Oh, all right.
So this is pretty exciting. We're very happy to be partnering with Tapper. We've worked with them before in the past, and we've worked with the guys at Tapper Automotive to get this together. And starting today, you can get registered for the Rocker Rides, a brand new Ford F-150 or 2024 Chevy Silverado. You're going to have your pick at the Rocker Rides. And this is going to be sweet too. This is Tapper is basically funding this thing.
Yeah, man.
It's like a $16,000 value for a 2-year lease. And I mean, that is amazing. Not having to worry about car troubles for 2 years, especially in these winters with a truck with 4-wheel drive like that. It's insane. So again, we want to thank Tapper and Warner Vineyards for getting in on this. So this is how you get registered, and we already got people blowing us up. So this is how you're going to get registered every day with Meatball and myself. Every day during the work week, right after 8 a.m., we'll let you know, call in. And it's 978-1077. The seventh caller is going to get registered. There's no limits to how many times you can get registered on air. Now, if you want to get registered in person, we're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, we're going to be at multiple Warner Vineyards concerts all this year, so you can catch us there. We're going to be at Tapper Automotive a couple of times. You're going to be at the Chevy dealership. I'm going to be at the Ford dealership. We'll have some specific dates there. And if you want to see exactly where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, we have all the dates up now at WRKR.com and over on the Rocker app.
Yep, it's right there for you. Just click that Rocker Rides button or go to the Rocker Rides at WRKR.com. We have all the info there. The first time to get registered and see the trucks in person is this Friday. The Eagles Tribute Heartache tonight. That's going to be an awesome show at Warner Vineyards. We're going to be out there from 5 to 7. You can get registered in person. It's going to lead all the way up till September. So, again, you're going to want to make sure you have your phone on you because September 9th is when we're going to draw the finalists for this. Now, this is going to be important because after 8 a.m., Monday, September 9th, Meatball and I are going to be calling 10 winners. If you don't pick up, we're going to keep drawing another name until we have 10 winners. Those 10 finalists are going to win tickets to the Red Knot Chili Peppers show, and one of those people is going to walk away with a 2-year lease on a brand new vehicle from Tapper Automotive.
The important thing to think about right now, though, is just to get yourself qualified for this contest. So
Yes.
I feel like, Mark, we should kick this off and get it going. What do you think?
Go 978-1077. Caller 7, you will be the first to get registered to get a 2-year lease on a brand new vehicle. Tapper Automotive. Thank you guys so much for getting this kickstarted, getting the first register right now.
1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Last year we talked about this race, the sailing race from Chicago to Mackinac Island. You know about you know about this race, right?
Man, that's intense.
I'm not a boat person. I don't mind being in the water as long as it's like chest high, and that's about it. You know,
Understandable.
Not a super strong swimmer. I float.
He's a very buoyant man.
I'm a very buoyant boy. But sailboats definitely not really my thing, especially the way these guys are racing. Essentially, you go from Chicago all the way to Mackinac Island, and you do this in about a day and a half for most people. The original record, the record is set by Roy P. Disney, who is an actual descendant of Walt Disney.
Okay.
He did this back in 2002. He made the trip in, I think it was just shy of 23 hours or right about 24 hours, something like that.
Gotcha.
No, I'm sorry. Roy Disney's record was 22 hours, 24 minutes, and 23 seconds. So shy of 24 hours, right? There is a new record. The Maverick set a new record by more than an hour. Unbelievable. They beat this record by an hour, which I think most people have come close within like 30 minutes or an hour or so.
Man.
But he literally blew it out of the water.
That is wild, man. I couldn't do that, man. I told you, I got mayonnaise legs.
Got mayonnaise legs?
Yeah, when it comes to being on a boat, I'm awful at it.
Oh, I've honestly never tested the structural elements of mayonnaise on a boat.
22 hours, 24 minutes, 23 seconds.
And he beat it by an hour.
You got to be flying, man.
Well, that's
nonstop.
That's the factor, because as you remember, we had some storms this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what's even more impressive about it.
They got out, the boats that got out ahead of the storm and didn't get caught in the storm set record paces.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because they got blown out by the storm. So they were cruising, man.
That's pretty sweet. And also terrifying.
Exactly, man. There were some boats that got caught up in the storm. They had, I think, 3 ships that had to limp in, one man overboard situation they had to go take care of. But that is, 250 boats, 333 miles from Chicago's Navy Pier to Mackinac Island. They call it the America's Offshore Challenge. It is the world's longest annual freshwater sailing race, divided into the cruising division, which left Chicago on Friday, and then the racing division, which began on Saturday, and that's the one we're talking about here.
Man.
Unbelievable.
I couldn't do it, but if you want to tie me to a inflatable on the back, I'm down. I can ride on one of those bad boys.
I don't even want that. I just, give me like a live GoPro cam or whatever on one of the boats. I'll stay at home and watch. You know what? I'll just fill my bathtub with water and then watch it, from the
Swish
tub.
around.
Yeah, little toy boat. 1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Well, we apparently get a little frisky, a little different in our love languages in the Midwest. 2 states from our region have been named top swingers states in the country.
Oh, man.
In
We
fact-
ain't talking about elections here.
No. We're not talking about purple
elections.
states. No. This is like swingers.
Yeah.
And both states are in the top 10 for swingers culture, Mark.
Man. Living lavish.
Ohio and Michigan.
Oh, man.
Ohio came in at number 10. And the way they ranked this was a survey done by like openlove.org. So they did like surveys and interviewed people all about their relationships and whatnot. And they came to find out that about 459 people per 100,000 in the state of Ohio like to swing. Not in a park, like at home with their spouse.
Upside down pineapple.
That's what we're talking about. Yes. Michigan, a little higher, number 4 on the list. 526 people per 100,000.
How did they conduct this study?
I don't know. If they did it in person, that makes it a little more awkward, I think. Yeah, Michigan at number 4 is crazy. It's probably no surprise as to who the number 1 state is, right?
It's got to be Vegas.
No.
It's got to be not Nevada?
No, it's not Nevada. You would think Florida would be up there because of the villages alone.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, my.
660 people per 100,000.
Man.
Yeah, Florida didn't even crack the top 15. It's crazy.
I was going to say, driving through Pennsylvania on my vacation recently, I couldn't help but notice how beautiful it was. It was just all nature. It was like nobody was outside. It's like everybody was inside.
Right. The pineapple.
What are you doing?
Those Pennsylvania pineapple farms, man. Let me tell you. I learned some new stuff though. Like there are some things we all know about the upside down pineapple, for identification for swingers and things like that. There are other indicators that I think some people might want to reconsider in their homes. You ready for this list of potential identifiers of swingers?
Let's go.
Pink flamingos, garden gnomes, or pampas grass in the front lawn. So pretty much half of Florida is accidentally giving off that vibe. Wearing a black ring on the right hand.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Large mirrors in the home. Could also be just for narcissists.
Yes, very true.
And unfortunately, if you have a hot tub in the backyard, that is a big sign that you're a potential swinger.
Man, hot tub, huh?
Yeah. So now, thinking back on it, you start thinking about the homes we all grew up in and the things that our families had,
Starting to rethink things a little bit, and I'd rather not.
Maybe those garden gnomes weren't just decorative.
1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
So it turns out that you can actually visit the baseball park where the Rockford Peaches played in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League.
Okay.
In Indiana, Rockford, Illinois, or Rockford, Indiana, rather, is where you can go and check this out. You can actually see the field. Now, the Rockford Peaches, they were obviously one of the teams synonymous with A League of Their Own film.
Yeah.
This is not the actual field. This isn't the League of Their Own field.
This is the real field for the
actual
real
field.
team.
Yep.
Okay.
So fans of the movie and baseball fanatics alike can actually visit this real-life home field, and it's located about 40 miles northwest of Evansville. It's in Huntingburg, Indiana.
Okay.
So this is pretty crazy, man. If you didn't know, they actually played, all sorts of teams. Kalamazoo Lassies, Grand Rapids Chicks, and Racine Bells. So, yeah, a lot of notable local names that they played. So it's pretty wild that you can actually go to the stadium because, those stadiums, they did not last long.
No, and a lot of those stadiums too, you had some teams, it was all kind of based and started out of Wrigley in Chicago.
Right.
But a lot of the teams did not play. They started playing, I think, in the major league ballparks, but the attendance wasn't big enough. So they, started moving to these smaller parks and stuff because it was a replacement for Major League Baseball at the time. So
that's correct. And no, today it's home to the Dubois County Bombers.
Oh, cool.
But this thing is 130 years old.
Wow.
It's pretty wild, man. That's a really old stadium. Even in today's standards, there's not many left. In fact, I'm actually kind of bummed. I always wanted to petition to the state to get a historical marker over there in Portage because I'm pretty sure right by where that Harding's is on Portage Street is right by where the field was, where the Kalamazoo Lassies played. They were the last champions in the league.
Yeah.
So you feel
reigning
like they
champs,
should
baby.
Yeah, technically reigning, defending champs. There should be some kind of marker there to commemorate that. That's a pretty big deal.
I was reading through here too. The DC Bombers have something up on their website, which is the Dubois County Bombers. In 2023, they were recognized nationally as the Summer Baseball Organization of the Year. That was part of their league, and they received shout outs from the New York Yankees and the Savannah Bananas.
Oh, man.
Because they play one of the most iconic and timeless settings imaginable. Historic League Stadium rich about baseball history and Hollywood history, too. This is very cool.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check this out, it's up here on the 107.7 RKR app. If you ever want to take a road trip to visit a major part of not only American history, but baseball history, it's up there for you. And I can definitely say that this is one park I'm going to have to make a trip for.
Just make sure you're out there rocking your Kalamazoo Lassies reigning champs t-shirts.
I'm going to bring my bobblehead.
Yeah, man. Bobblehead night. Bringing the